Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Untethered. Today, we are going to do like we usually do on Tethered. We're going to go from different we switched topics basically. Last week was the political edition. This week, I'm going to get into the religious edition, and we have some good news coming in, or we have some good topics to discuss tonight, hopefully, and we'll see where it leads us. Tonight with me is my brother Robert Hanson, as well as my co-host Mark Edworthy. Welcome to the show, guys. And
you have a nice day.
No, you don't say you have a nice day, man. You just started it. You say you have a nice day when the show is over, Robert. Have a nice day. What, are you going somewhere? Shit.
No, but who knows what it turns into.
Okay. So, yeah, we've had some interesting stuff that we've had happening this week. A lot of stuff that isn't really being mentioned too much in the crowds that we've been around. So I figured, well, what the hell? Let's bring up this stuff and see what it brings and see what your take on it is. I'm gonna drop the window captures. That way I can go into the articles and read them so it doesn't mess up the editing for the stream later on when I do it. So the first article that I came across, believe it or not, I don't usually come to this website, but it is from Politico, just so everybody knows, and it's a article that was put out on the 17th of this month from Politico, and it talks about an event that Donald Trump is actually going to be putting scripture. Him and other Republicans are going to be doing reading passages in the marathon for the Bible event that's taking place here in the United States. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and read the articles and see what you guys think of it. So, President Trump is making a dramatic show of religiosity just days after he posted an image on social media that many Christians found offensive. A recording of Trump reading a verse from the Old Testament will be released next week as part of a celebration of the Bible organization of the event said Friday. The president's reading, which has already been recorded, will be part of an 84-hour public presentation at the Museum of the Bible in Washington that will feature nearly 500 readers cycling through Scripture from Genesis to Revelation over 8 days. Trump's roughly 2.5-minute reading, which is slated to air Tuesday, comes after he angered many Christians with a social media post that appeared to depict him as Jesus and publicly quarreled with Pope Leo,
which he deleted a couple hours later, I believe.
Right. Now, Booney Pounds, the founder of Christians Engaged and an organizer of the Bible event, welcomed the president's participation and declined to weigh in on the controversies, though she noted that the president's reading might be relevant. It's a scripture about repentance, Pound said. None of us are perfect. The president's reading, Second Chronicles 7:14 is among the most frequently invoked verses in American public religious life, calling on believers to humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Now, the White House on Friday released a statement trying the initiative to the broader sweep of American history, emphasizing what it described as the Bible's indelible role in shaping the nation's identity. The statement nods to figures like John Winthrop and Abraham Lincoln and frames the reading as part of a larger commemoration of 250 years of the Bible's influence in America. We need a similar moment in our country today, Pound said, describing the initiative as an attempt to bring together leaders and citizens in a shared act of reflecting. I believe it's historic to have a sitting president read a lengthy section of Scripture with no commentary around it. In addition to the president, the lineup features several cabinet officials and Republican lawmakers, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Secretary of Veterans Affairs Doug Collins, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, and Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins. So, my take on it is, first of all, it's good that I don't think a president's ever done that before here in the United States, where they've actually gotten involved in reading the Bible in something like this. I think this is probably the first time, isn't it? Have you ever?
Yeah.
Not sure. You could be right.
That I know of, this is the first time. But as long as it's doing it for all the right reasons.
Right.
That's remarkable.
Well, I'm talking about.
I find it interesting that you've got to read 2 Chronicles 17, which is about military force in and especially now, what's happening in Israel. I find it interesting that he has actually chosen that part.
Do you want me to read the verse?
Please.
Okay, 2 Chronicles 7:14. First of all, it's a prominent biblical verse where God promises to hear, forgive, and heal the land of his people if they humble themselves, pray, seek him, and repent from wicked ways. This promise was originally part of God's response to King Solomon's prayer after dedicating the temple in Jerusalem, focusing on restoration and covenant loyalty. Let me see. I'll get this.
Do you not see an issue with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the obvious. I wonder how this is going to go down as far as the Islamic, or the U.S. Islamic or Islam
Well, the U.S.
Five is concerned.
Well, the state,
I think that might be a bit of a head issue.
like the state said, about not mixing church and state together, and how people are going to look at that if that's what that is going to be turning into.
Yeah, even if it was, even if he's not meaning to it's going to be
Yeah,
viewed as that. Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword. It could be into politics. They like to do that. 1 minute it's one thing, and then next they turn it around.
Also, as far as his chief social post was concerned, that was absolutely checked as far as I'm concerned. Blasphemy, even. It was fair to criticise him on that. And it was even though he should have created such a post, at least not without having some sort of advice from his advisors. It was good that he deleted it anyway.
And on January the 14th, 2016, Russell Moore made a post on his website, russellmoore.com, and he says that 2 Chronicles 7:14 isn't about American politics. And he says sometime around the 4th of July or Memorial Day, you might see a sign advertising a God and Country rally or prayer breakfast. I can almost guarantee you that if you attend, you will hear at least once 2 Chronicles 7:14. For those of you who don't know it, this passage reads, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land." Often the way this verse will be preached in many evangelical pupils is as a rallying cry. In so many sermons, the people referred to in the passage are the American people, and the land is the American land. The meaning of the... Go ahead.
That's one connotation. There's the other argument that is talking about Israel. It could be inferred that Israelis are evil people. Yeah.
Well, these days in today's atmosphere, yeah, you could see that as being a part of it too. But I'm gonna stick to your theme of us talking about that American kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we
as far
should
as
be
the
doing
Americans are concerned, there's always been a very sort of Christian undertone in American politics.
Well, I like what Russell Moore actually was pushing too when he was saying this. He they use 2 Chronicles 7:14 to somehow make it like an American patriotic thing, when in reality it has
Sorry, you said 7:14. I was looking at 17:14.
No, 7:14. 2 Chronicles 7:14. And a lot of evangelical pulpits are using it as like a rallying cry. Like the people of America, and that we need to heal our lands and stuff, when in reality it has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. You know what I mean? But this also could apply.
It's a dangerous thing.
Points, but yeah, carry on.
I'm just saying it's a dangerous thing when you phrase certain things and people take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
When you're saying that U.S. land, that don't sound very good.
Now, often the way this verse is preached in many evangelical pulpits is as a rally cry. In so many sermons, the people referred to in the passage are the American people, and the land is the American land. The meaning of the text is understood as an invitation to 21st century America to return to God and then enjoy God's blessings once again. It's no wonder one scholar said that 2 Chronicles 7:14 is the John 3:16 of the American civil religion.
Or they call it when they went on the Crusades. That's what it sounds like too.
Well, he's comparing it to John 3:16, which everybody here in the United States is always doing.
Well, what I'm referring to is when you say God with you will stand. Well, it just sounds like the Crusades when they're making the church into the you fight for the USA, but you fight for the God.
Well, he goes on to say, if nothing else, the question must be asked of this kind of sermon: where should we take America back to? Do you mean back to the area of the founders, or back to the 1950s or the 1980s? When exactly in America's blip of an existence did everything fall apart? You know, so that's another good question. It's like, you sit and you hear that. I mean, they're talking about making America great again. At what point?
And what depth of it?
So.
Making America great again, and that's such a fake term. It doesn't mean anything. Waiting capacity.
Right. Now, we need, in addition to the president's lineup, I already mentioned that about the cabinet officials and everything, right?
What about them?
Like, there's going to be other ones that have read this too as well. Like, I noticed in here, Marco Rubio is going to be one of the readers, and Susie Wiles is going to be there doing it too. So we're going to have that going on. Now, Trump and other top Republicans read passages in the Marathon Bible event. This one is from AP, and it says that this is updated at 6:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time on April the 21st, 2026. It says President Donald Trump and many of his leading Christian supporters and top Republicans are taking part this week in a marathon reading of the Bible in an America 250 themed event billed as encouraging a return to the spiritual foundation that has shaped our country. The America Reads the Bible event, with each participant reading a passage aloud, is being live streamed from the Museum of the Bible in Washington and other locations. It featured a video of Trump from the Oval Office on Tuesday evening reading an Old Testament passage that called for national repentance in ancient Israel, words that have been used prominently for decades by those promoting the belief that America has been and should be a Christian nation. Now, Trump recited the passage from his desk with his hands folded on an open Bible in front of him, though he was looking straight into the camera. The video cut back and forth between two camera angles. Now, the Bible is indelibly woven into our national identity, the way of life, Trump said in a statement commemorating the event. The statement cited historical figures such as the Puritan leader John Winthrop as imploring his fellow Christian settlers to stand as a beacon of faith and for all the world to see. Now, critics say the event has a highly partisan list of participants and is part of a larger project to connect America's upcoming 250th birthday with a Christian nationalist vision that portrays the nation's founding as essentially Christian. Something many historians dispute. Now, white Christians, particularly evangelicals, have been crucial to Trump's electoral base.
Did you say white Christians?
Yeah, white Christians.
Yeah, okay. You can see where this, who's written this.
Yeah.
What sort of philosophy that person has got. Yeah.
And one thing wouldn't hurt for him to have done is take each group of different, like the Pope, and have people, high Pope and different religions and them all be there to help write and talk about this, where it's not sounding so, I don't want to use the word, but white print, it just don't sound good. I don't want to.
That's where you're heading to, and I disagree when it comes to Pope and.
Well, no, I'm saying it wouldn't be a bad thing to have different looks of it.
There to represent the Holy Roman Catholic Church.
Well, no, I mean all churches, all religion.
No, sorry, no. If you got a representative of the Pope is there as the voice of God, God's representative for the Holy Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, but
not all not all religion, and we have this. I've seen some of the arguments in relation to Church of England and the Anglican Church and the Count Monarch. The concept of that he's they're representing all faiths. You cannot be head of a church and then say, "Oh, I'm going to represent all faiths."
Well, no, I'm talking about if you take one from each faith.
Solely that church.
Well, I'm talking about like you got Congress. You take the Congress of different churches.
Donald Trump, the president of the US, is head of a church,
well,
whereas the Pope is, and the president monarch is. They both are head of the representative churches. But the president isn't head of the representative church.
Well, I was referring to where they don't, one person don't put it in a way of insulting other religions too.
Why not? Why should you criticize another religion?
Well, I'm saying
it's also a theological political entity as well as.
Well, I don't want.
Are you saying that we have to have blasphemy laws though?
No, what I'm saying is I don't see why anyone should say the U.S. is better than what England is because we are in a certain, we're higher or whatever and whatever. I mean, to me, that's what it sounds like. It's not a good thing when you put the ideal a little too high where you're running down other places.
Well, that's what they're. That's what's the end thing though now, Robert. You see the end.
So any criticism could be considered as running down a subject.
Hold on. Now, wait.
Anything now. We all got to go walk around hand in hand and hug each other.
No, that's not what it is. Okay, look. When it comes to this, I don't like the idea of bringing in the white Christian comment either. Okay, but the truth of the matter is it's like it's a separation of state and religion for a reason. Okay, like it's getting too freaking out of hand. Where like this right here, this is completely political bullshit. And most of this is ran by frickin' Christian organizations that are real thick in the nationalist movement. These are all just nationalist Christians who want to push this crazy idea that our country is all about the Christian faith. And the truth of the matter is the majority of people who founded this government didn't even believe in Christianity. Okay?
They did.
Founding fathers of the US.
Right.
Could argue as being.
Yeah, but
I mean, and they made it a point. They made it a real big issue to separate religion from state for a reason.
They learned from England.
Okay.
They didn't want to go down the road like what England did.
Britain, where we have by long historical sort of connection between religion and
social life
and politics. Politics and Christianity goes hand in hand in England. So
yeah, but that's the thing. The U.S. didn't want to go down that road, but then here they are.
But maybe with the I don't know, Saudi Arabia, Islam, and
that's the whole farce. That's the whole farce. That's that kind of stuff isn't going to happen here. That's that. Like religious people aren't going to be able to take over a freaking government because we don't encourage religions to be dominant over freaking over the people. You know what I'm saying? We don't want freaking religious dogma. To like we had that happen back in the Middle Ages, and you know what I'm saying? How many people died because of the Catholic Church?
It didn't even exist in the Middle Ages, so that's a bad.
Well, that's the best way of saying it is the Middle Ages.
Well, no, it's when the U.S. fight for independence.
I mean, how many people during the Middle Ages died because of the Catholic Church? You know what I'm saying? How many people were put to death because freaking they didn't believe in Christianity?
Or just not if they didn't believe it or not.
We have moved on.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Country in itself. And that is the head of the Vatican City, political head of the Vatican City, is the Pope. He's not slaughtering non-Catholics in Vatican City. So I argue that's a bad. Looking at it from a perspective.
Have you watched that movie?
So if the Catholics aren't capable of slaughtering people in Vatican City, then what makes you so worried about Muslims slaughtering people in Europe? I mean, it's like I see it as like a double standard. You have this belief that.
But you've got to look at the political situation at this present moment in various countries. In certain, I point out to you when Mr. Robot was sharing a good with us, a chattering about certain sub-Saharan African countries attacking Christian members of Christian faiths because of internal political disputes.
But my whole point is are they capable legally of taking over your government and and making it to where you have to freaking obey freaking the Muslim religion or you get put to death. I mean, can they physically do that? Do you have a constitution that prevents that from happening over there? That separates religion from freaking state?
If a community, irrelevant to the religion, if a certain community takes control of a country in a severe manner, then constitutions are not going to help you. Look at Iran in 1979. Look at Lebanon in 1975.
ISIS.
Being two good examples of.
What country was that, Roger? ISIS took over?
Well, I'm pretty sure Islam actually ruled that country actually Islam was in firm control of Lebanon before 1975, considering that's the breadbasket of Islam, to be honest. Because the three main leaders in Islam is freaking Turkey, it's freaking Iran, and it's freaking Saudi Arabia. You have Lebanon, which is right there in the dead center of all of it. So I guarantee you, it was a Muslim predominant country before 1970. It was a predominant
in religion, but not in a political sense.
Right.
To 75. Right, and you don't want to run out of church.
So I mean, when it comes to politics, the best argument I think there would be freaking Iran. Whenever Iran was taken over back in that would have been back in what 80s?
No, the 70s.
1979.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty dramatic. They were actually a pretty.
They got a slogan for the USA.
Well, no, I mean before that is what I'm talking about. Before all that. Back before they were taken over, they were pretty democratic actually. Before the Ayatollah took over.
Well, again,
Ayatollah,
yeah.
As well.
Well, Lebanon.
Hey guys,
hey,
what's the topic here?
We're talking about Donald Trump and him doing his Bible reading. Did you hear?
Donald Trump. Hey, you know what? Donald Trump has a spiritual advisor. You guys know who this person is?
Who?
I can't remember her name, but she's an evangelist, and she's one of those people. You know how evangelists ask for? Oh, if you got it in your heart, you want the blessings. Give $10, give $20. No. She goes, if you want the blessing, you give $100,000. $100,000, you give $10,000. She's radical, and she's a money-sucking scam artist. Trump has got a printing press in China that's giving out Bibles for $3 a pop, where he signs them and he sells them for hundreds of dollars. This man's not supposed to be doing this kind of business while he's in office. You can't.
No, you're not even supposed to do that in any office.
Are you thinking of Bunny Pounds?
I can't remember the name.
Okay, because
I could verify for you if I want.
She was the one who was the founder of the Christian Engagement of Christian Engaged, and that's what this is all about. It's an organizer of the Bible event, which is taking place, and they were supposed to have like a marathon where everybody's reading quotes out of the Bible for the Museum of the Bible in Washington.
Well, I mean, because Trump has backed himself into a corner, so because every president's supposed to be some sort of Christian or something, and then it's just like
you're not supposed to mix church and state. Period.
Well, I mean, it's just he backs up to a corner saying, I don't think I'll make it to heaven. I guess the question was asked. He said, no, you don't think he'll make it to heaven. Well, at least he has a little bit of honesty there. You ask any other president, yeah, sure, I see, I heard God. So Trump has done some things in life. He does the grandest of this man, the God Emperor of mankind, Trump himself
Well, see, that's what a lot of this started over because he ended up putting up that meme where freaking he was Jesus and he was preaching to the horrible and awful freaking Pope of the Catholic Church, which.
Hey, watch it, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I seen you there. That's why I said it.
Released a lot of questions about this Pope. In fact, I've got a video I want to show you. I've been meaning to show you it last week or so. I keep forgetting. But I'll do that later. But that criticizes the current Pope.
I like Pope Leo.
But to me,
Pope Francis.
I argue that
And I love Pope Francis.
extremely choose a word in conversation woke.
It's woke.
Everybody is woke. He
what's
No,
woke?
I'll give you the reference to on that.
Was that a new fashion statement?
Compared to his majesty Lord Edward. So sweet, such tradition. I would mind giving that. I said that the British monarch is the head of the Anglican Church.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That really is a good point.
What is?
That the English, the Church of England, is
So,
like the royal family.
Mhm.
They're in charge of the Anglo Church.
so what does that have to do with Pope Leo?
Well, that's not actually Catholic though, because they're two separate
Yeah,
denominations.
they're Anglican.
Like they're that is a good point. Tan has
They are
checkmated
They're
you.
not in communion with Rome.
Well, you understand the whole difference between the two, right, Mark?
So,
You know the difference between the Anglo Church and the Catholic Church, right?
yeah, from an historical point of view.
Because I mean, Tan's
Yeah, the
What about-
concept of removing the mysticism of Christian faith. That's what you're driving at.
Well, like with the Norwegian belief, when there are 9.
Well, see, that's that when you bring the Norwegians in and the Vikings in, that's where Anglo-Saxon comes from, and like when you get the Anglo Church, you get more of a predominantly white Anglo-Saxon kind of church that is what they have an issue with.
I mean, are you sure about that? I mean,
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot of the history where it's like the Vikings are ransacking and doing their raids on England as
Right.
because of some newly found place.
well,
So
see,
already Anglo-Saxons in England before the Vikings ever found it.
civilization in that region and France, okay, actually started because of the Vikings. The invasions were really because of the Vikings coming down and invading Scotland and then later parts of England. Just like in France, the Franks, when you hear the term Frank and Frankish, the Franks were actually Vikings who invaded, then they started settling in the northern part of France. And these people actually ended up being the royal families of France before the French Revolution. So a lot of what we call civilization from that part actually started because of the Anglo-Saxons from Scandinavia.
And they were attacking their own countrymen there too.
And then you had
During that
Italy with Rome that was coming up from the south, you know what I mean? So you have a lot of influence there. So,
Do you know that there are a lot of Anglicans in Africa?
yeah, that's actually,
Depends on which African country you're talking about, but there's a lot of Catholics.
Well, Catholics is a lot more numbers, but Anglicans, so 25 million in Nigeria compared to.
well, take a look at Denmark and their settlements too. A lot of people don't look at that. There's tons of freaking Danish settlements in Africa. especially right there on the west coast, where they had actually settled
Dutch were a
settlements.
scourge on the African people. They were the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Still, even to this day.
So
How are African worse?
Well,
You got so the colonialism, right? You got that. Nobody did it to Africa harder than the Dutch. Sorry, and they're still doing it. They're still.
That's a long sure about still doing it. I mean, look at what's been happening with South Africa. That tends to relieve white farmers. What has happened in?
Well, I see the white farmer thing. The thing of it is, it's not just white farmers. It's everybody that's a farmer in Africa is in danger right now because they're being murdered. And it's like white nationalists down in that area are the ones that are starting the white genocide shit. When in reality,
sorry, kill people is not a white genocide slogan.
Yeah, that's a load of shit, dude. That is a load of shit. Farmers are dying in Africa, dude. It don't matter what color your skin is. Everybody's saying these white farmers bullshit, dude. It's farmers, period.
The farmers are always the first to be really attacked.
In reference to kill the boy.
Yeah.
What regime is nice to the farmers? Not
Africa.
The USSR.
Africa is having farmers die. It's a big issue, and the only reason why it's not being
killed so many farmers. It's always the farmers.
Before you speak Africa, remember Africa is a continent.
Yeah, that's my whole point. Every farmers in Africa, the entire continent, dude. It's not just South Africa. It's everywhere. They're dying.
Egypt?
Yes, it's freaking happening all over the place there. You know.
South Africa is a country, though, right?
Yeah. Do not conflict.
It's happening. It's happening in Nigeria. It's happening in South Africa. It's happening in freaking Uganda, I believe.
Well, think of it like this: who's the biggest person?
It's happening everywhere down there, and nobody wants to look at it seriously because you got a bunch of ignorant white people calling it white farmer genocide. All these horrible black people are attacking freaking white farmers. You know?
Well,
that's the reason why. That's the reason why nobody takes it serious.
That's happening in the United States too. You got black people being racist against white people.
I mean, seriously, nobody will take it seriously because it's become so freaking ridiculous that these people are talking about white farmer genocide in Africa. Like, you know, if you want anything to actually work out, why don't you stop talking out of your asshole and talk with common sense, dude? You know what I mean? But they won't do that.
Well, just not that. They got the technology. They got technology now to where they can send it up in the air, and
they don't even have proper. They don't even have proper analytics on freaking how many farmers are dying down there because nobody wants to do it.
Countries, I believe that there
I think the last ones were the police force.
When you have a rural regime, one of the first groups of people you attack is the farmers. Okay, because you control the food, you control people.
Yeah.
Again, I bring up the example of Stalin. Stalin killed more farmers than I think anything in history.
You're right. He actually did what the Assyrians did. He would make them move from one location to the other. So, and then there was entire communities that he starved out because freaking he didn't want them to.
That was really down to poor management.
Oh, God.
There's a good argument to say that's down to poor management of farms rather than wanting to
You're
live with these perverts. On the whole.
you're trying to say that Stalin freaking starved these people to death because of poor management, dude?
On the whole, yes. There are exceptions to that rule, but on the whole.
I don't know if I can.
Stalin was just just a syphilitic dictator. I don't know.
Like bad management and shit. I can't believe he said that, dude.
Well, bad management can have severe consequences.
There's a lot of people died there, dude. I'm not gonna.
Bad management can have severe consequences.
You're muted out, Dan. You're muted. Yeah, I know. He had something good.
Sorry.
I know.
I was saying, did you guys notice that Mark Atwoody has a lot of, he blames a lot of stuff on management?
Yeah. Like, seriously, dude. I cannot believe he just said that. Like,
Yeah, but let's okay. But how many people in management? When you run a country, how many people in charge?
Collective organisation.
well, dude, I know you're used to dealing with management, but like that's going a little too far.
I have done quite a lot of study research on the concept of collective management within the
Well, you understand when
I'm not saying I hate the concept, but I mean, technically it is bad management if you are a person or not.
Yeah. Well, it's
Well,
like
this is actually a tactic that's been taking place since back during the ancient times, dude. It was a known tactic. You starve people out. You also, the Assyrians, like I mentioned, they would take and they would conquer people, and then they would make them move to another area. That's like when it comes to
Russia.
to Babylon, when it comes to the Jews being moved out of Jerusalem. That was because freaking that was what they practiced. They would conquer a city and then they would relocate them somewhere else. And they've been doing that from that time period until now.
Hey, Roger.
Well, I mean, if that's what
You don't have to even fight against them. You can go into an area, Raj, into a small area outside of your country and do that.
Oh, sorry. You want to become a provider?
Yeah, you got an echo.
It's very hard.
You and Roger,
Okay. Well, okay, there we go. Got it fixed. So, in order to conquer a people without killing them, you have to put them through the worst hardships. So, like with slavery in America, you take away their lands, take away their property, their ownership, their titles, their all identity, their religion, language. You put them through hardships, and they become a dead race. Okay, so that's what you do to somebody you want to completely disenfranchise. And they become slaves more easily or assimilated into your system, into your society. That's how you get to assimilate.
Yeah, but you gotta watch out for that too, because you can wind up with having someone a little go ballistic too.
Well, that's part of it. They want you to do that so that it justifies them freaking eradicating you. You see, you start acting like an animal, then it justifies them coming in with the military and killing you. That's what they did during the Middle Ages with the Jews.
Yeah, but if you're smart, not doing that, look at serial killers.
That's what I'm saying, though. But that's not how they generally do it.
Well,
that's a justification for. So you create the claim, you create the narrative, and then you use that narrative to justify the actions.
yeah, but can you tell me what the first oldest serial killer in the past?
But the coffee is empty.
Yeah, you will really be surprised about it.
There's always.
It's off. The person was off on the sea line, like where you get crabs, fish from the ocean, and all that. Back long time ago. They found this guy and over 300 dead people inside of a cave, butchered to death from this one person.
What were they butchered for?
And we're comparing all these atrocities to
They found him.
right?
They found
Well, what happened was we were discussing. I was reading the article, and Mark Edworthy had an issue with it being the term white Christians mentioned in a
Yeah, because they were
AP.
sort of politically correct, or the sort of best blame. Well, we are not racist, but we don't blame a single race for everything. Argument.
Yeah, they
But
mentioned
it makes sense.
he kind of went on a tangent there, got all pissed off at the Muslims and shit.
Well,
You know how Mark is. Mark is a radical freaking. He just flips out and just
I can't imagine. No.
yeah.
I
Hey guys, no,
don't believe Mark Edworthy to be a radical.
well, let me ask you a question. Everybody knows what the U.S. is like right now. You stop to think, if certain things has changed, what would the U.S. be like? What would you would think? Okay, if we lost the war of independence, what would it be like? Here, what would you think the U.S. would be looking like?
It's,
Canada.
what's that famous book? Found in,
Well, I know Mark would say that we would be a better country because he's so freaking British. It's
Well, you
pathetic.
know what? We would be drinking tea and smoking bags.
Okay, and here's another one. Okay, during the time when we were fighting against racism, during that
the
time,
Civil War.
Civil War, the gray coats,
He likes to call the rebels the Gray Coats.
yeah, rebel. Okay, what if they was to won that war? What would U.S. be like?
To be honest with you, I think the U.S. would have
We would be in the U.S. would be the slavery cap slap.
Actually, me and Roger have been talking about this a lot. The American Civil War was not about racist in reality. It was the land grab. That's what the land grab to create to unify taxation.
Right.
Just not that. Yeah.
Industrialized.
But here's the thing:
Right.
if you got all them people that, yeah, but here's the problem:
No.
if you can't get taxes from a dead, if you can't get money from people that's dead or don't have a penny to their name, because you got more people that own slaves.
Well, see, the
Okay,
thing
that's
of it is,
the
Robert,
problem.
there were
Right there.
the thing that goes against that is there were regulations that were in place where slavery would have been abolished within maybe 10 or 15 years.
That's what I was about to say. If the UK, if we lost the war against England, I believe slavery would have been abolished a lot sooner.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they were the ones that were pushing. They were the ones that were pushing against slavery because they're the ones who made it illegal on the Ivory Coast to take slaves from Africa. And
Yeah, but I'm saying like today, what would you look at the U.S. today
well,
if them things happen?
Who knows? If we had the ability to look at travel to alternative universes, string theory arguments, then
I think England would be a better place if we weren't. If we lost that war, I think England would be a better place today because Americans would actually be a part of England, and we would teach you guys how to actually run a proper government, do things.
Oh, I don't know about that, Roger.
remember, your government is based fundamentally, historically speaking, is based upon Britain.
Yeah, because we didn't want to go down to doing that the
Back
way.
to Martha.
If the church tells you to do something, if you don't do it, the church will kill you.
Oh, that's the one thing that we separated.
Yeah.
from those guys.
But what I'm saying, if we was with Britain, we would be getting killed if you don't go by what the church said.
Maybe in the 16th century, 15th century, but we are talking about the 18th onwards. We are
Well,
talking about
yeah. But like here, but like I was surprised about this. During the 1800s, the government here, they had this thing that they were thinking about killing all the Indians, inviting them all to dinner, and poisoning the meat and letting them all eat it to genocide them. Because they cost the U.S. during that time with all the wars, Indian wars, over $1 million, and they wasn't happy about it. And they were talked down about doing it. And they went to the point where they were going to go and attack Mexico to get the land. And it was on the TV showing the landmass compared to what would it be like compared to Russia's landmass.
Okay, you are conflating all Indians or all Native Americans with
Yeah, but that's what they were talking about doing.
You say that you're going to invite all Native Americans from the big continent of Northern America
No.
to a small dinner party.
No, I'm talking about all the Indians here in the USA. They was wanting to round them up and kill them.
Do you know how large the USA is?
Yeah. Yeah, but
Do you know how many different tribes there were?
You're asking an American if he knows how large the USA is?
Well, I can make a comment like the old joke about US citizens not knowing geography at all. But yeah, what
No, we
go
know
there?
our own geography. We don't care about anybody else.
but our government is got a lot of flaws by itself, like with Canada. Okay, when U.S. was going to, if the citizens of the U.S. when it was brought up, they looked and said, no, we're not. They didn't want no part of attacking Mexico or Canada because they didn't want no wars. They liked the peace. They just didn't see no purpose for it. But the government wanted to do it. But I'm saying, what would it be like each of them things changing in that direction? What would it be like?
Again, you're asking what else? I could, who knows? We could have linked ourselves in this scenario, and the end of humanity could have happened. We could be living in a utopian, dream-like state.
Yeah, but when people,
We could have imported some Native Americans back over to England and asked diversity to that gene pool. I mean, lots of things could have happened.
Yeah, precisely.
but
Five Alpha Centauri could have come down to this planet and conquered mankind. Who knows?
Yeah. In India, it was a religion there. This one guy, he was going around killing, choking, and then sacrificing the blood to their god. And he did it so much. He is the killer of his religion. Up to, I think it was 400 people he killed by himself. He choked them to death with a coin stuck on his pad, and he wrapped it around their neck and gave, I don't know what you call that device, but that's what he used. And there was a religion over there, and went to spread all over to other places, and other places learned from it and did it.